dad had this signal generator. It was used to test radio equipment, and it was an old sort of 40s style Hammerite black box with a big dial on the front. Looked very technical, and it always seemed like a piece of magic to me. Anyway, it generated a radio signal, very low level, so that you could plug it into the internals of a radio to test the various parts of the radio to find out what they formed. Anyway, it became sort of mine during the sort of 50s, should I say. And I discovered that if I connected an aerial to the test point plugged into a radio, you would actually transmit this thing and you'd pick it up on your medium wave radio. So knowing that, we plugged some music into the audio input to this thing, and lo and behold, we got a radio station. I built a radio transmitter, which had got some serious kick to it. Again, with ex-World War II equipment, which was readily available in those days. And I mean, to be specific, it got a 6J5 triode, an 807 Pento, and it got about 25-30 watts output. So I needed a slot in the medium wave, which was pretty crowded, and I found a particular frequency, and I can quote it precisely, 983.2 kilohertz. It was the medium wave at night time especially, which of course I was at school at the time. That was the main time we used to transmit, and the medium wave was just chock-a-block. You tuned across it, it was just noise everywhere. We found this slot, which was quiet, there didn't seem to be anything on it, and I went to a place called Henry's Radio in Tottenham Road in London, and bought a quartz crystal that was pretty close to that frequency, and we altered it slightly by grinding it with Ajax, the old kitchen cleaning material, and landed its frequency on 983.2 kilohertz, 305 meters, and that was our station Q. Radio New World. Now there's a story in itself. The name Radio New World came from a gas geyser, a gas boiler at the laboratory at the back of our lecture theatre at Hinkley Grammar School, and we sat there pontificating as to what we might call this radio station, and the boiler has got New World written on it. That was the name of the boiler it was manufacturing, and it became Radio New World. It was Radio New World then until it was closed down some years later. In the 50s, commonly used rental radio system was available by the name of Multi-Broadcast, and they had, I think it was taken over by Radio Rentals and latterly by Granada, but obviously rental radios became phased out fairly quickly. But in the 50s, you could rent the line and buy good quality radio, as it was medium wave, by plugging into a hole in the wall. And this was transported by wires going chimney to chimney around the estates. Well, during the early 60s that was discontinued. The wires were still there, but it wasn't used for anything. So I had the bright idea of connecting our transmitting aerial output to the multi-broadcast wire, which went zigzagging around the local estate. And it was physically disconnected a couple of houses from us, and it wasn't connected to any of the houses anymore, it wasn't used. So I connected our RF output, that's the radio frequency transmitting output, directly into that wire and loaded. We actually matched our transmitter output to that, so we got an efficient energy transfer. And it was about a quarter of a mile long. So it was pretty amorphous in the sense that it was very difficult to pinpoint the source of it. And I guess that's why the station lasted for about 4 years before we finally ended up I ended up being caught. Interesting thing is, on the medium wave, especially at night, you get massive distances from fairly small powered transmitters. And we were able to get into northern France using this 25 watts of power on the medium wave. The transmitter was a piece of kit which I built out of valves, mostly from ex-television sets, and valves we bought from war surplus kit. Place I remember on Trinity Lane, Hinkley, called Data Radio, that had XRAF radio sets, and stuff. And the local television shop used to give us old televisions that people traded in. So I'd got plenty of bits, and I was pretty savvy with electronics, and always have been. That's what I do. And it was essentially this valve home-built transmitter with a home-built mixing desk. Nothing like that, but it was a home-built mixer with about 8 channels for mixing different bits of music, jingles and stuff. And so this mixer was a pretty primeval bit of rat's nest wiring, but it worked. And the tape machine we used to play was a KB tape recorder that belonged to my mum. The GPO was responsible for radio transmissions and policing it. And it obviously bubbled to the top of their in tray, and they decided to bust this 18-year-old lad who was in the bath at the time and knock on the door. And the tape was rolling in the shed in the garden, and the transmitter was in the shed in the garden. And they came to the door and spoke to my mum, and said there was reason to believe you've got an illegally operating a transmitter running from these premises, and came in. She took him to the shed and they switched it off. Yeah, that's how it ended, and I got taken to Magistrates Court and fined. The total I was fined, including costs, was about 15 quid all told. They didn't take the tape recorder, they didn't take any of the mixing equipment. So really it was just the bit that actually transmitted the radio signal. I've even still got the crystal for it. Well, it's make a nice ornament, but I've never made it into an ornament. Transmitting illegally, without a license. You could not obtain a license in those days for transmitting music. I mean, it's like anything else that's illegal. I mean, it was against the law, and there's good reasons for the law. No, I think the kind of lessons it taught me was how to be creative and how to be deviant. I don't think it taught me any moral lessons. And so, in fact, did I learn anything? Yes, I learned technically, because that was how I became what I am now.